So, today it is National Mezcal Day here in America. Although, given that the liquor itself is from Mexico, maybe this should be International Mezcal Day. Yeah, but whatever. I love mezcal, so I'm quite happy to make a drink to celebrate and mark that day. Now, I looked around for a bunch of recipes, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, but I settled on a slightly modified recipe that I found in Saveur magazine, which is a Mezcal Martinez. And a Martinez is an interesting drink. It's kind of a melange between a martini and a Manhattan, but obviously using mezcal instead of the gin, which would have been the typical ingredient when it was first introduced. So let's get straight to this. It's of course, like all cocktails, relatively easy, apart from the really difficult ones, of course. So it's a mezcal drink. So let's have 2 ounces of mezcal joven. And by the way, the mezcal I use is always the joven, which is the clear stuff, not the stuff that's allegedly aged with a worm in the bottom and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that you don't want for your cocktails so much. There's probably a place for it, probably at a frat party or something like that, but for these cocktails, not so much. And in common with the ingredients for a regular Martinez, it takes vermouth. In this case, I am using ½ an ounce of my sweet vermouth, the red one, ½ an ounce of that. And a kind of perfect martini and things like this. These kind of drinks often had 2 kinds of martini, the dry and the sweet. But in this one, this is an earthier drink with that smoky mezcal. So this calls for a ½ an ounce of Cynar, that famous artichoke aperitif from Italy, which I do quite like. And it adds a real vegetal sort of extraness to this cocktail. ½ an ounce of that too. But then something to round it all out. You know, it's a lot of sort of earthy, strong tasting spirits. I'm going to put in a ¼ ounce of Luxardo maraschino liqueur. And just measure that carefully. In that goes. And now the only modification I'm going to add, the recipe I saw in Saveur did not have any bitters in it, but I like bitters in my Manhattan, and I think that will add to this. And I'm actually choosing to use Aztec chocolate bitters. I think that kind of bitters, just a quick dash of that, those bitters go really well with mezcal and also all those other flavors that are in there. And just stir this, give it enough time to chill it. I mean, unlike James Bond, this is stirred, not shaken. And typically the only cocktails you'd shake would be those with citrus or some other ingredient that really needs to be aerated and mixed into the drink in a different sort of way. Oh, that's nice and chilled. That will do us nicely. So I'm going to strain that concoction into my martini glass, of course. I'm using a martini glass, so this would work in any kind of cocktail glass, or in fact you could probably even have it over ice as well. And the only garnish I'm going to put into there, and if I was really fancy I'd set fire to this, is a twist of orange, just to give it a couple of drops of orange oil in the top there. And let's see what we've got. Salud.